Hello friends, welcome to the session of Quality Hub India, and in this session we are going to learn about CPOC diagram, which is a very common tool in case of driving Six Sigma projects, and we are going to learn about this diagram in detail in this module. Before starting the content, let me request all the new viewers, if you are first time to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and also click on the bell icon. Do like the video and share the link of the video with your friends and colleagues so that they can also learn something. And don't forget to write your comment in the comment section. If you want us to make any specific video, then also you can write down in the comment section. Don't forget to check our online training cum certification program. Do visit our website www.qualityhubindia.com. There are many courses you can explore and learn from the convenience of your home and can get certified and can take your career to a new height. In case of any query or doubt, don't forget to write to us. Now let's start the program. So friends, talking about CPOC diagram, it is basically an acronym which stands for supplier, input, process, output and customer. You must be knowing that there is a process flow diagram which is generally being used to define a process and to understand various steps of the process. Okay. As far as the CPOC diagram is concerned, this is a next level to PFD or process flow diagram. In process flow diagram, we only understand the process flow of a particular process, whereas in CPOC diagram, beside understanding the process, we also understand what are the input characteristics, what are the output characteristics of the process, and who are the supplier for the inputs and who are the output for the customers, or the output of the customer goes to which all customers. So those all things are also important for us to understand while driving a project. So CPOC diagram is very much helpful for understanding all these nitty-gritty of the process. So talking about CPOC diagram, this is not like a process flow diagram. Process flow diagram is a very detailed diagram, whereas CPOC diagram is generally called an eagle's eye or a helicopter view. So it basically provides the broad level structure of the process, and beside understanding the process, we also understand what are the inputs, what are the output of the process, who are the suppliers and who are the customers. Okay, so all these aspects we understand on a very broad level, and it is a very important tool to visually communicate the scope of the project, because while driving Six Sigma program or the projects, we need to understand what is the scope of the project. So scope in and scope out is a critical aspect of the charter. So CPOC diagram basically helps us to understand the scoping of the project. Now let's understand how CPOC diagram can be used. So CPOC diagram is basically a diagram for a very broad level. So it helps basically the sponsor or the mentor or even the project leader to identify the boundary of the project, so that all are very much clear what exactly needs to be covered, which all area need not be covered under the scope, so that the leader can communicate the same to the team members, because it is very much important for the team members to understand the boundary of the project, so that they can focus. For an example, in a project, the scope of the project is to work on particular line. There are 10 lines in the plant, and the project scope is to work on a particular line number 5, and the project is for reduction in defects. Okay, so scoping is very much important, so that the leader and the mentor and the sponsor, they are very much clear that the team is only working on line number 5 and other lines are not going to get impacted right now. Maybe during horizontal deployment of action, the action can be implemented, but while driving this particular project, those scope are not being included. So CPOC diagram is helpful for scoping the boundary of the project. This also helps to verify input match output of the upstream processes. We have seen that we have a process, we have input and output. So whether inputs and output are related and how those are correlated with the process steps, that also very much important for the team member and the leader to understand. So CPOC diagram helps in that as well. In the same way, vice versa, output match input of the downstream process. So input and output and process, whether all are correlated or not, whether output of the process is impacting the process or the inputs are impacting the process and the input is also impacting the output. So these all relationship we can understand, and CPOC diagram is that's why very much important. So now let's understand how a typical CPOC diagram works. So here we can see a broad level structure of a typical CPOC diagram. So in the middle we have process, and in the left side we have inputs, and the inputs are coming from the supplier. So supplier's name would be here. Supplier does not mean external supplier only, it can be internal supplier as well. So for all the inputs we need to write down the suppliers. It could be internal, it could be external supplier as well. Same way for all the process steps, what are the outputs we are going to get, and who are going to be the customers for all the outputs. So again, in the same way, for all the outputs we need to understand who are the customers, and customer could be also internal customer and external customer, because for the definition of the customer, whoever received the products or services, so maybe within the organization from operation 1, the process or the part goes to operation 2. So operation 2 is the customer and operation 1 is the supplier. So that kind of relationship is there. So CPOC diagram is basically helpful for understanding that kind of relationship, so that we are very much clear for all the inputs who are the supplier, whether they are managing the inputs properly or not, what are the critical characteristics of the inputs, whether suppliers are controlling all of them or not, what are the critical output characteristics are there, whether customers are reviewing all those things. We can formally ask the customer to give feedback about those characteristics, so that we can come to know whether there is a positive trend in all the outputs or not. So all these things we can come to know with the help of CPOC diagram. Not directly, CPOC diagram is basically a broad level structures, but with that structure we can further investigate, and by using some other tools further analysis can be done. So CPOC diagram basically helps in facilitating those things as well. So generally it is being recommended that a single person should not be doing a CPOC diagram. So if you are constructing a CPOC diagram, so generally recommendation is that there should be a cross-function team. So people from relevant departments, depending upon the CPOC diagram you are making, whether it is a service process or manufacturing process. So people from different spectrum of the different vertical or different functions, they should be come together, and they should be brainstorming, they should be making this CPOC diagram. So now let's understand the various steps of making a high level process map or CPOC diagram. So the first step would be making the process steps or identifying the process steps. So it's a dummy, a sample. So we can see here we have 4 steps over here. So first step would be to understand and to define various steps of the processes. For example, if you are drawing a CPOC diagram for a manufacturing process, and manufacturing process goes through 4 steps. So step 1 you should be writing down, then step 2, 3 and 4, and they should be connected with the connectors or the arrow marks. Now the next step would be, once we are done with the process steps, we should move to the right hand side and we should be completing the output, then customer, then from customer we should turn back and we should come to input and supplier. That's how ideally it should go, but I've seen lot many practicing different ways. That is also fine, because if you are mature and if you have conducted or if you made a CPOC diagram numerous times, you can customize your approach as well. If you are comfortable, your team is comfortable, the ultimate aim is that this should be constructed in a proper manner for the understanding and the benefit of the team. Okay, so here we can see all the process steps have been identified. Then we need to identify the outputs. So the outputs could be the elements which we are going to get from the process. This could be hard products, this could be services, this could be reports, this could be various raw data, or this could be matrices driven. So all those output we need to identify. And the next step would be, once we identify the output, then we need to identify the customers. So these are the basically customers for outputs. So who are going to get all these elements? This could be internal customer, this could be external customer, this could be vendor or end user, this could be management or downstream processes. So for example, there is a manufacturing process, and this process mapping is for forging process, and after forging process this goes to machining line. Okay, so machining line will become your customers. Okay, after machining, if it goes to end user, or it goes to the OEM or to the any customer who is buying the product, the next process map or CPOC diagram would have process steps over here, machining process, and the customer would be your OEM. Okay, so right now we're talking about one manufacturing process, for example, forging. So who is going to be the person or receiving the output? Basically the customer. So it could be internal or external, and this could be many more other agencies as well. Now the next step would be, turning back, so we are done with defining the process steps, identifying the outputs and identifying the customers. So we should head toward the input now, and these inputs are basically input for the process. So successful completion of this process depends upon the inputs, and the inputs could be data, it could be part, could be application, could be raw material. For an example, we have talked about forging process. So what are the raw material to be received? If we are going to receive some consumables, some tool stackers, some information sheets, this could be SOPs or work instructions or control plan. Those are all inputs for the process. So we need to identify all those inputs. Could be hard stuff, could be software element, could be instruction sheet, could be any other things. And the next step or the fifth step would be then identifying the suppliers for the input materials. So who all are the suppliers who are going to provide us these input materials? So the inputs, it could be parts and material and could be information. So for each of the elements, we can identify different suppliers. So there are different ways in which we can do CPOC diagram. I have seen many approaches. One of the simplest approach is that you should be identifying in a broader level a supplier for the inputs. For example, one supplier supplying to all the inputs. So in that way also it is being made. But in many cases, I have seen that people are doing in very detailed CPOC diagram. That is also fine. In fact, I have also practiced both the varieties. So one of the practice is that for each of the inputs, you need to identify different suppliers. That is also practically possible because that would help you in understanding various nitty-gritty of the process, how that is being managed, who are the input supplier for individual elements, so that you can talk to them and you can identify what are the critical characteristics so that you can manage the processes at supplier end. Same way for the customers also, you can identify the customer at the broader level, or there can be separate customer for each of the individual elements as well. So it is up to you, and depending upon the requirement of your project and requirement from your customer or from the direction from the management or direction from the black belt or master black belt, you need to make your CPOC diagram. I'm sure friends, you must have enjoyed this session. Don't forget to like the video and write down your comment. If you want to make us any improvement in the way we are making in the modules, we are making the training programs, you can suggest by writing in the comment section. And also if you have any query or question, do write to us and write down in the comment section. Do share the link of the video with your friends and colleagues so that they can also connect to us and they can also learn something from us. And don't forget to explore our online training and certification program and connect to us on our Instagram, Facebook and LinkedIn profile. Bye for now, take care and have a great day ahead.